Connie here, and welcome to the Road to 1000, our One Piece special for this entire week, pretty much, on the channel. Um, so, in order to celebrate the upcoming 1000th episode this weekend, we are going to be doing a number of countdowns on different topics for the series. And we are starting off with my top 10 ships, and that's boats, not shipping, of One Piece. So, this is an interesting list that I've wanted to make for a while. And it's really self explanatory, so there's not really much of any rules for it. I am not counting any ships from the filler, because although the ships from the filler could be cool and everything, for one reason or another, I'm just wanting to focus on the ships that Oda himself created here. For this week specifically, I want to focus on that kind of stuff. Um, though I will say, even though I don't like the characters associated with it, the ship of the Foxy Pirates, which I believe is just called the Silver Fox or something like that, is actually really cool. It's a really cool ship. um, but yeah, that's the entire gist of this. The ships that the crews use, as long as it's a ship of some sort, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it doesn't matter its size or anything. It just has to be a ship that sails, that a crew uses within the course of the series. That's really the only rule. So we're just going to get on with this, and this is not going to be redirected. The other top tens this week will be, but this one will not be because of one very important fact. It's not going to be easy finding clips of all of these ships, because some of them only appeared very, very briefly in like a single shot. So it's like, instead, I'm going to show pictures, and I'm actually going to talk about why these ones are my favorites here on YouTube, for once. And this one I can actually talk a little bit more about, because there are going to be some notable differences between them based on design and how they fit with the characters, the crew that rides in them, and all that. So I think this is one that I'd be able to talk more about anyways. So we're just going to get right into this. So let me bring this up. And so we start off with number 15. This is a top 15. I think I said top 10 before, but it's top 15. I'm sorry if I misspoke. Number 15 is the Victoria Punk, the ship of the Kid Pirates. So the Victoria Punk, like Captain Eustace Kidd, is very extra. Captain Kidd tends to be one of those characters who he's trying to be pretty extra. He's trying to be pretty badass and cool and intense, and his ship definitely reflects that. Just from the general design of it, but then you have the bones that are laid all throughout it. You have the figurehead, which is just a giant skull, probably a sea king. But then you see like the rib bones or whatever decorating the side. You even see the like three little bones in the back there. It's a really tight design. And with the specific shape of the ship itself, I think it really works for his character. All accentuated by the eye-catching flag and the Jolly Roger that accompanies it. Number 14 is the Shark Superb, the ship of the Arlong pirates, when they arrived at Kokoyashi Village. The Shark Superb is considered by many to be a pretty cool looking ship. I mean, let's zoom in on this a little bit, because it's a small picture. That was too much. But look at this ship. It's a little blurry now, but oh well. Look at the design of the sails and everything. Look at how wide it is. Look at that figurehead in the shape of Arlong's upper head. It's such a wild design for a ship, and honestly, we've seen almost nothing else like it in the series. It is such a unique ship design that it really stands out. Again, the sails alone are so vastly different and unique, and it's you almost kind of wonder, can it actually sail? Can a ship like that actually sail with the sails like that? Would that actually work? um I don't know. But you see Arlong's mark on the one sail along with his name. Again, the figurehead is shaped like his face. It really works with the teeth and the nose and everything. And then you have the like white triangles going down each side, which also kind of like read as more of his teeth. It's a really tight design. Um, I really like the colors as well. The reds with the little bit of green in there. I think it just really works for Arlong. And it's a shame that we only see it like once in the entire series. Like we don't even see it in the flashbacks in Fishman Island, so it's like it's kind of disappointing that we don't get to see it again. But number 13 is the Red Force, the ship of the Red Hair Pirates led by Captain Shanks. This is a more classic style ship, I feel, but it's also very extravagant. Like this is very clearly the ship of a warlord, of one of the four Yonko. Like it looks fancy as fuck. The wood used, the gold right under the figurehead, the number of sails, just the way the figurehead itself looks. Everything about it is very impressive. Even the way the wood is shaped and everything, the specific designs on it and all, again, it just looks impressive. That is the best way to put it. um, and you only see this a couple times in the series, but it's a really cool ship. It really works for Shanks because it's again very simple but impressive, which is exactly what Shanks is. He's a very simple character. He's a very simple guy. He doesn't have as much of a gimmick to him as like other characters in One Piece do. But at the same time, I mean, he's one of the Yonko. He's one of the four emperors. I think I said warlord before, but I meant emperor. He's one of the four emperors. He's got to be impressive. So it's like his ship really accentuates that extremely well. But after that, we go on to number 12, the Jewelry Margarita. And I'll zoom in on this one a little bit. We don't get a full view of this ship, but we get enough of it. This is the ship of the Jewelry Pirates, led by or the Bonnie Pirates, sorry, led by Jewelry Bonnie. And considering Jewelry Bonnie is known as the Glutton, you can kind of see how this ship works. It's very pizza based in its design. You can see like the pepperonis right there in the middle, but the ship is just based on food in general, and it really fits her character. The design of the ship, as far as we can see, is really simple. Like there's not too much to it. It doesn't have a lot of fanciness. The figurehead is even just her Jolly Roger. It's nothing altogether special, but the food theming of it all is what sells it for me because it's so Bonnie. It's just so her to have her ship even look like fucking pizza and all. That's hilarious to me. This one is up this high just because it's funny as fuck. It's funny as fuck, but it's also a really nice design. It works for the character extremely well. It really understands what the character of Jewelry Bonnie is about. So yeah. But now we move on to number 11, Hanjomaru. Hanjomaru, that's it. I think I messed that up the first time. Hanjomaru is the ship of the fallen monk pirates led by Supernova Yarouge. Yarouge is a supernova we haven't seen a lot of. We saw a bit of him in Shabandi, and we we saw a flashback involving him and the Big Mom Pirates during Whole Cake Island, but we haven't really seen a lot of his character as of yet. So hopefully he does appear and have a bigger role later on. But his ship is fucking badass. Like, look at that. Look at that figurehead. You have this Oni mask with like sword horns. You have the wings coming out the side, the bead necklace underneath. It's like, holy shit, dude. It's like, it may feel like it's trying a little hard, but it is succeeding. Um, the ship itself seems to have a pretty standard design, though the colors, the red, the red striping and everything on it is really cool. You see his Jolly Roger on there as well, and it's really nice. But it's the figurehead is what makes this ship. It is just so fucking badass. I love it. And it's like this one I can't say on how well it fits his character because again we don't know enough about Yarouge, but it really looks fucking cool. And this one definitely gets the spot because of the rule of cool. Um, so moving on, though, we move on to number 10. We're getting into our top 10 now with the Going Luffy Senpai, which is the fucking funniest concept for a ship ever that is executed in a legitimately awesome way that I just can't help but love. So Bartholomew and the Bardo Club use this ship. And as we know, Bardo is an extreme fanboy over the Straw Hat Pirates and especially Luffy. So having the figurehead be Luffy himself with the Gomu Gomu arms is fucking amazing. Um, the ship pays homage to the Going Merry as well, not only with the name but seeing the ram head in the middle there. You also see the tangerine trees, which are an homage to Nami's tangerine trees that she brought from her home island of Kokoyashi Village. Well, Kokoyashi Village isn't the island, but you know what I mean. You even see in the back, you see homage to Chopper as well. The ship is just entirely an homage to the Straw Hat crew, and it's amazing. I love its design. It's a very wide ship. I love even without the Straw Hat references, like the just general design of the ship, the colors and everything, the way it's specifically shaped and all is really cool. But with the added Straw Hat paraphernalia, it just brings it up to another level. It's just so fucking hilarious and cool. Just the fact that we have a literal group of Straw Hat super fans in this series who use a ship that is literally an homage to the Straw Hats is fucking amazing, and I love it. But number 9 is the Polar Tang. It's just a fucking submarine, but it's so memorably cool because of it. Like Law gives no fucks. Law's like, I'm not gonna have a pirate ship. Fuck that. I'm gonna have a fucking submarine. It is funny as hell. And the thing looks like a fish. Look at its shape. It has a fucking tail fin. It looks like a fish. um, but basically in the entire I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, it's like it fits Law perfectly. It's like we know he just kind of doesn't give a fuck about what others think about him or his goals or his ideas. And so he's just going to do what he wants. And so it fits. It works. And we've seen the Polar Tang used well throughout the show. And yeah, even currently in Wano, it's been shown. It's a pretty damn good design. It's just a total I don't give a fuck kind of design. And it just works with Law. It just really does. So now we go into number 8, the Thriller Bark. Let's be honest. When we found out the Thriller Bark was a ship, like, I can't be the only one that marked out at that. It is such a fucking amazing idea. to have a ship the size of an island that has a literal island within it, and that is based on horror. Like, that's amazing. The design of it is really cool too, because it has like it's not shaped like a ship at all. Like, without the sails and all, you would not guess that it's a ship, but it is. And it's like it's just it has a giant island in the middle, surrounded by a ring with a gate and some sails. It's just such a fucking unique and cool design, and it's creepy, it's weird, it fits Thriller Bark, it fits the arc, the horror themes. It works on every conceivable level. Even the gate, which is a pair of lips with creepy teeth in the middle, it's like, that's weird. That's fucking weird, and I love it. um so yeah, I really think that it was just a really creative, interesting idea for Oda to go with. Number 7 is the Moby Dick of the Whitebeard Pirates. It's a very classic, simple type of ship, but it's another one like Shanks's ship, the Red Force, that is really just impressive. Like, you have the whale, the white whale figurehead, which is kind of cool already, considering, let's think about it, white whale, white beard, kind of fits. But the ship itself, like the blue colors on it and everything, the way it's shaped, the size of it, it's just cool. It's just really impressive and cool. It just has this grandeur to it that you just can't deny. Um, the size of it, it's massive. So it definitely fits Whitebeard, who also is pretty massive. But it just has a really good design and really fits Whitebeard as a character. So we then move on to number 6, the Baratier. While a lot of the ships on this have gone for length or width, the Baratier is like, why don't we just build tall? The Baratier is a really early design from the series. It's the floating restaurant run by Chef Zeph, and kind of by Sanji as the sous chef and all. Um, it's just a cool design, and it's a phenomenal idea. Whether the fins are in or out at the moment, it's just a great idea for a ship to have it be a restaurant too. The multiple layers, having different floors and everything to it, is a great idea. I like the colors. The reds and the teals, the bluish greens really work well. When the fins are out, it even gives it a new layer of having like the kind of docks, basically. It's just a really good ship idea. Um, I like the figurehead is just basically like a dumbass looking fish. It's just funny. It's not what you would necessarily expect, but it works. I just like its design. I really do. I think it fits the theme of the restaurant and everything, and I think it works as a traveling sea restaurant. Now we get into our top 5, and we have to start with the Going Merry, the caravel that started it all. We got this ship back in Syrup Village from the Butler, Mary, and Kaya, and it had been with the Straw Hat crew for a good while before finally saying its farewell after the events of Eni's Lobby. The Going Merry is just a very classic, wonderful ship. You can see here all the different repairs on it that give it character, that show how much it's been through. On the mast, on the just body of the ship, on the figurehead, which is a ram's head, befitting Mary, the butler, not the ship. But you see, again, you see Belmare's tangerine trees. You see just the general design of it. It's a very simple ship. But sometimes simplicity is key. And in this case, we also have a strong connection to the ship because of where it came from, as well as just actually legitimately caring about the fucking boat. And it makes me fucking cry every time I see the funeral scene because it is so fucking sad and I get really emotional. deal with it. Um, we're gonna move on though to number four, the successor, the Thousand Sunny. While the Going Merry is a super emotional, beloved ship, the Thousand Sunny is, without question, its superior. It is the upgraded ship of the Straw Hat Pirates and is much more grand. Befitting the Straw Hats, especially post time skip, it really shows how far the crew has come and shows just how big of a deal they have become to the world around them. This ship, compared to the Going Merry, is much more grand looking. It has a lot more regal colors with the reds and golds. The figurehead being a sunflower like lion in front of crossbones is a really nice touch. You have the just thickness of the masts covering or like holding up the sails and everything, the lookout tower above. It just all really reads as much more regal and grand. Um, and it works again for how big the Straw Hats have become to the world and how much they affect it at that point in the series, and even more so going forward. Um, you can't see it here, but having the turf on the ship's um, my mind is blanking. Um, Deck, that's the word. Having the turf on the deck and everything is a great touch as well, and it's a beautiful ship. It's also made from the Treasure Tree Eve, which is a legendary tree and everything, and like the Treasure Tree Atom is like its only comparative, um, like tree that you could compare it to, and that's where we actually go to next, because made with the Treasure Tree Atom is the Oro Jackson, the ship of the Roger Pirates. And just like other ones, just like with Whitebeard, just like with Shanks, um, especially fitting for Shanks, the Oro Jackson is a very simple design that is just executed in a very grand fashion. Like this is the ship you would think that the King of the Pirates would travel on. Look at the grand design of the front of the ship with the gold and everything. The ship is red, which you don't see a lot of in here. You see some red on the ships, but not usually most of the wood on the ship being red. Um, the grandiose sails on it, the just general shape of the ship and everything. It just has this really powerful aura to it. Like you see this ship and it's like, yeah, that is definitely 100% the ship that Roger would sail on. Like it just feels exactly what you would expect for the King of the Pirates. And it looks just really cool. It just genuinely looks really cool too. um, and then we get into our top two. So this next one is the runner up. It honestly could have almost made my number one, but it just kind of missed out because my number one I just like a little bit more. But number two is the Sleeping White Horse of the Forest, captained by the beautiful pirates and their captain Cavendish. I just love everything about this. Like, the fact that the figurehead is the full front half of a majestic white horse is fucking hilarious. Like it's not even just the head; it is literally the entire front half of the horse. The shape of the ship and the colors and everything, the sails, it lives up to the crew's name. It is beautiful. I love the colors. I love the wavy design on it. The varying uh, grandeur, uh, just beautiful shapes that you see. I love how you can see the word popularity on it. It's very egotistical, but that's befitting of Cavendish. It just works. It's so fucking hilarious and amazing, and I love it. There's not really much else to say. It fits Cavendish to a T, and it's my second favorite, especially because of the fucking figurehead. But there is one above it. My favorite ship in all of One Piece is the Perfume Yuta, the ship of the Kuja pirates, led by Warlord of the Sea, the princess of the Maiden Island, Boa Hancock. This ship is as fucking regal as they come. It is led by two snakes, like literal serpents. They're not figureheads, they're real. And it is just absolutely stunningly regal. Like, we know what kind of character Boa Hancock is. Outside of her love for Luffy, she is absolutely fucking egotistical as fuck. She is the epitome of ego. She believes herself to be the most beautiful, the most important woman in the world. And without question, her ship should represent that. The ship has a very, very beautiful design. Like the certain way it just bends downward and then goes back up. The specific colors of it being very dark blacks and reds. But also just how almost velvety it looks in the center there. Even the design of the sails is unique. It definitely stands out. And again, having the two serpents leading it is such a fantastic idea, fitting the Maiden Island and their snakes. It's a really just fantastic design. I love pretty much everything about it. It's a very simple design. It's not as grand or as special or as stand out as some of the other ones, especially the last one, the Sleeping White Horse of the Forest. But in its simplicity, everything about it works. Everything about it just matches Boa Hancock, her ego, her insistence on perfection and everything. It just works in every way, in my opinion. But there you have it. My top 10, or top 15 rather, favorite ships, as in boats, of One Piece. Maybe one day we will do a top 10 or something ships in terms of, shipping. Maybe one day we will do something like that. But for now, I enjoyed making this list, doing the research on this and getting to see some of the ships that I had either forgotten about or just don't really think about too often. It was fun. And I'm very confident in my current ranking of this list. Could that change at some point? Yeah, of course it could. And there's a lot of other ships that are great in this series, such as Big Mom's ship and whatnot. But I am very confident in what I chose as my final top 15. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, we will be continuing this road to 1,000 on Wednesday, in which we will count down my top 10 favorite villains in One Piece, specifically villains. I'll talk more about what will constitute that, what will qualify for that in that video, because it may not be entirely black and white in that regard. But I would love to hear ahead of time in this video, what are some of your favorite ships in One Piece? Would you just naturally put the Going Merry or the Thousand Sunny in the top two spots? It might be surprising to some people that I didn't, but I mean, they're still number 4 and 5. They're still up there. So it's like, what are your favorite ships in One Piece in terms of boats? What do you think of my list? Let me know down in the comments below. And, well, let's get going. We'll continue this on leading up to the 1000th episode. Let's celebrate. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.